Knicks versus Pacers score recap. New York erases 20-point deficit again, behind Karl-Anthony Towns' outburst, after the Indiana Pacers win in Game 1. It was easy to forget the New York Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals with some epic comebacks of their own. They provided a reminder Sunday and breathed some life into their season in the process. New York trailed by as many as 20 points in Game 3, but roared back in the second half to notch a 106-100 win and avoid a 3-0 hole. With the series now 2-1, Game 4 is scheduled for Tuesday at Indiana. It took one of the best performances of Karl-Anthony Towns' career to get there. Towns entered the fourth quarter with only 4 points, then reeled off 20 points in the final 12 minutes to stun Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That was the most fourth-quarter playoff points for a Knicks player in the play-by-play era since 1997. New York needed that firepower from Towns, with Jalen Brunson battling foul trouble for the entire second half. It was a third 20-point comeback for the Knicks in these playoffs, and a record 6 of the league overall this postseason. New York got their first 2 in Games 1 and 2 of the last round against the Boston Celtics. If there is reason for comfort for the Pacers, it's that they have twice been in this position before. In this postseason, they are 6-0 in Games 1 and 2, 0-3 in Game 3s, and 4-0 in Games 4 and 5. They'll try to continue that trend Tuesday. Knicks revamped struggling starting lineup before Game 3. The Knicks had an obvious lever pull going into Game 3, and they pulled it. A starting lineup that had been getting outplayed for months and pulverized in the Pacers series was changed, with big man Mitchell Robinson entering the fray and big guard Josh Hart getting relegated to the bench. Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau had relied on the starting unit of Brunson, Towns, Hart, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges more than any lineup in the NBA, but finally adjusted with a two-big group to begin Game 3. The shift was overall positive. The only player who finished the game with negative plus-minus was, funnily enough, Brunson, and Towns obviously responded well despite having company in the paint. Hart was also unbothered by the change, and ended up playing 34 minutes anyway. He continued to provide the kind of physicality Knicks fans love, especially on a wild rebound that swung the game in the final minute. The Knicks were up 198 when Hart came flying from across the court to pull down a missed Miles Turner three-pointer. Instead of Indiana getting a chance at tying the game or taking the lead with some second-chance points, Hart drew a foul and made a pair of free throws to put the Knicks up 4 points with 20 seconds left. It was all Indiana early. For about 35 minutes of game time, you couldn't have blamed the Gainbridge Fieldhouse fans for thinking it would be this easy. Losses like Game 1 have broken teams before, and Pascal Siakam's 39-point outburst in Game 2 left New York short on answers. The game was close early, but a 29-9 run in the second quarter put Indiana up by 20 points, and they cruised with a double-digit lead for much of the third quarter. Vibes were at an all-time high Sunday, with the city also playing host to the Indianapolis 500. The winner of that race, three-time IndyCar champion Alex Palou, even made it to the arena for Game 3. Sometimes it really is that easy. But these playoffs have made very clear that no double-digit lead is safe, and teams down 2-0 are going to do whatever they can to throw a wrench in the works. We saw that in the Western Conference Finals on Saturday, when the Minnesota Timberwolves blew the doors off the high-flying Oklahoma City Thunder and made it a series again.
Seven assists in a loss for the Pacers.
Ty, you guys scored just 42 in that second half. What did you see as the reasons your offense stalled for much of that?
We had some missed shots, 5 for 25 from 3. That's not ideal. I thought I got to watch film to really see our offensive processes, what they really were. Felt like we got kind of stagnant on that end, but yeah, we'll see where we can get better, watch film, and be ready to go for game 4.
What are you reading on the drives to decide to shoot or pass in this series? It felt like a lot of kickouts today.
Yeah, I don't know, just trying to feel out the game, see who's rotating over, see who the rotations are. Obviously Mitch is their, main rim protector, so when he's coming over, just trying to make the right play. But yeah, I could definitely be better there. But again, I watch the film, see my areas of improvement, see how I can get better for game 4.
20 from Cat in that fourth. What do you think you guys need to do better against that?
Yeah, I thought we probably fouled too much down there. And he's just a guy who flick the wrist. He can see over guys 7 foot, big dude. So we got to get up and just do a better job of showing help in the gaps. But yeah, again, just something we'll watch film on and correct.
How much did you see things kind of change when AA went down? He obviously comes back, but at that moment when you see a guy, considering what he's done, especially in these playoffs, go down, how did that kind of shake people up? And do you think it took a while to kind of get past that?
Yeah, obviously it's not ideal. He's been such a big part of what we do, and he is such a big part of what we do. So it's not ideal to see. So we'll see what happens, how he's feeling and all those things. But, he gutted it out for us, came through. We are definitely, AA is a big part of what we do. So, obviously not. They come in and wreak havoc, and I thought we just didn't do a good job of, continuing to play fast. I felt like I did a poor job of keeping pace in the game, especially in the fourth there. I felt like I was walking the ball up every play. So I know it's a big area of improvement for me. I already know that's what I'm going to see on the film most of the time. So just got to do a better job of keeping pace in the game. Obviously a 42-point half isn't us. So we'll see what we can do better there, and we'll improve on it.
I guess, was there a read thing as to why you were walking up the floor more? Was there? I mean, you obviously always throw the ball up. You always want to. And
yeah.
Something that was telling you, it's a good idea to slow it down.
Well, I think just trying to get guys in the right positions. I think down the stretch, a game like this comes down to, 1 or 2 possessions. So just trying to execute the right way, get guys in the right spots. But yeah, it's definitely an area where I know when I watch film, I'm going to kick myself for. I'm already thinking about it, kicking myself for it. So, I think that's just part of it, and I got to be better there. Honestly, I think a lot of our offensive struggles in the second half will be, due to me. So, I got to be better there, and I will be better in game 4.
We talked just about the half in general, but I guess what did you not like about especially late game stuff, and what stood out to you kind of, I guess, in the last few minutes when it's a shot-to-shot, possession to possession stretch? Yeah,
I don't think our execution was great. I didn't do a great job of getting downhill and, just making plays. I got to do a better job there. I think I'm relied on to do a lot down the stretch of games, get guys in the right positions. And I feel like I didn't do personally a great job at that. I think especially Pascal had it going there. Probably should have gotten the ball a little bit more. But I feel like we got some decent looks, but we can definitely be better there. Execution down the stretch, we can definitely be better, and that starts with me. So, you live with it, you watch film, and you get better, and you prepare for game 4.
Ty, being on the other end of like the tight game and kind of losing it this time, I guess what do you take away from it? And is there anything different? Like, do you look at the process or do you focus on the result? Like, how do you kind of look at it?
Well, I mean, you got to focus on the result because it's 2-1, and that's a game that, we feel like we were in position to win and didn't do a good job in the second half. But I mean, it's always process. That's what it always is. Where can we get better? We feel like offensively we've had a great series thus far. I would say that was our first real bad half offensively. So we got to be better there. And then defensively, you hold that team like that to 106. That's you should win that game. So we got to. 100 points isn't us. So kudos to them. They did a good job, but there's definitely areas that we can improve on. And like I said, I'm sure we'll have a great film session tomorrow. Guys will watch film on their own tonight and tomorrow. And see where we can get better. It's one day in between games, so it is what it is. You watch film, then you just flush it and get ready for game 4.
Ty, that third quarter specifically, you guys were up 15 for good stretches, but it never expanded.
Yeah.
In fact, it went down.
Yeah.
So specifically in those minutes, what do you think happened?
Yeah, it's just such a thing that I have to watch film to give you a better answer on. It felt like the game was just stuck there, which is a weird feeling. It felt like every time we scored, they scored. Every time we didn't, we got to stop. Never could, fully pull away. So again, I don't really know the real answer. I got to watch film and see where we can get better there. I thought the ball got stuck a little bit. I felt like a lot of our turnovers came in the second half, which that could be wrong, right? I could be telling you the wrong thing, but I feel like we just did a better job of valuing the ball in the first half. It's something I got to watch film on, see where we can get better. But, that third quarter was definitely a weird quarter where it was just we never really pulled away, and it just kind of stayed in that 13 to 15 range. And then McBride made some big shots there late in the quarter, and that kind of gave him some momentum. We got a big dunk there to make it a 10-point game, and we just didn't. And I don't think we started the fourth right, ended the fourth right, and that's the most important thing with quarters, especially in the playoffs. So it's a thing I have to watch film to give you a better answer on, but. Definitely a weird flow to it, and it's just part of it. You'll watch it, see where we can get better.
Yeah, Ty. You actually won the turnover battle, but one of the biggest stats that jumped up to me is they had scored 22 points off of turnovers, and you guys have scored only 8.
Yeah.
And do you think that might be because of some of these defensive guys? They kind of stopped you guys in transition, so those live turnovers didn't hurt them as much?
Again, that's the thing I have to watch film on. I thought decision making probably wasn't the best, especially on my end. Had a couple bad turnovers there, and in transition, missed the transition 3 on the right wing. Had the turnover, OG stole. So, I think we gotta make better decisions there. But it's definitely a thing you want to execute when you force turnovers. You get rebounds. I mean, we run the rebound, or did we? No, we lost. No, we won the rebound battle. Yeah, so I feel like obviously that's the biggest point of emphasis when you play this team, especially with them starting big, and for us to still win the rebound battle, that's ideal for us. So we just got to do a better job of execution. But again, I think offensively the ball probably got a little too stagnant. And granted, we didn't make shots. It's a make or miss league. You shot 20% from. Yeah, we got to shoot better from. We'll shoot better. That's not us. But you got to find ways to win, and we just couldn't do that today. So we'll see where we can get better. Watch film and be ready to go for game 4.
Pascal Siakam with 17 points, the losing effort for the Indiana Pacers.
Pascal, as you think about that second half, just 42 points for you guys. You were up 20 in the second quarter. What do you feel like went sideways offensively that you guys couldn't ever get it going the way you want?
We didn't make threes at all. I didn't think we was playing out as fast. We didn't really attack the paint as much. But just when you shoot the ball like that, and then they got going, they got guys that got going. That group out there, they made big plays and they played better defense than we did. We still were solid on defense. I just thought we just didn't get a rhythm offensively.
How much do you feel like that was because of Cat putting in all those shots, start the fourth, couldn't run the way you wanted?
No, he won on the run. We weren't able to shut that off. So we got to get better at that. And he made some big plays at the end for them, and we weren't able to get stops when we needed them really. And also offensively, we didn't have our usual pop.
Ty just put a lot of the offensive struggles on himself, not getting the guys the pace you want. What can you guys do to help him play the speed you want and get the shots that he likes?
Who said that? We just gotta play. We just gotta play our way. And again, he's our leader in terms of getting us on the floor and where we need to be. But we just gotta run better. We just didn't have that kind of ball movement and everything as much as we usually do. So we gotta fix that.
What did they do to kind of take you out of what you're doing, and in particular, how much did the guys that they played that they usually don't play change things? They obviously went a lot deeper in their bench through a lot of...
Yeah, I have no idea how much it impacted, to be honest. I just think, for us, no matter who's out there, we just got to play our way, and I don't think we did.
Did just the moment when Aaron goes down, obviously he came back in, but how much do you think that shook things
up? Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, obviously, we hope it's nothing, and he can be back with us. It's a huge part of what we do, offensively and defensively, especially. He's a tough guy, and we'll just wish him well. Hopefully, he's with us next game.
Pascal, when you're on the other end of the close game, I guess what do you take away from it, and how much do you focus on the result versus trying to get back to the process?
It was just they made some timely shots that we didn't, and the moments where we needed stops, we didn't get them. So it is what it is. We gotta go back obviously we're gonna watch film and figure out what we need to do better. And yeah, like in the moments where it was there, they made the shots and we did.
Pascal, Rick, Carlisle was in here talking about you guys may have lost a little bit of your poise in the second half, turnovers, and you guys are all talking about the ball movement and the ball get staticky. Is the poise? Were y'all maybe looking ahead? Is there any reason for that? And could it be that you're 15 points ahead, you're about to close out game 3 and kind of fell apart?
Nah, I mean, I think I don't know really what it was, but again, we're gonna watch it and make sure that we stay playing our way and I just thought we just didn't and again, when you shoot whatever from 3, like it's hard to win the game too.
That third quarter in particular, you guys were up 12-15 for most of the quarter, but you never really could expand that lead. What do you think was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't make shots, and again, they made some timely like just buckets where like offensive rebound here, they get to kick it out at 3 or like whatever, like broken play, like they made the plays, the 50-50 ball. We just didn't, and at one point we just couldn't really get that extra lead that we needed. And yeah, like we just gotta get better, regroup, and go back at it.
Pascal in the back here. What's the message to the team going into Game 4? You guys are still up 2-1. How do you regroup and make sure you get that win?
Yeah, we just gotta. It's one game at the end of the day, so we gotta go back for almost half of the game. We played really good defense. We played really good basketball, and the other half we didn't. So we just gotta go back to that and just figure out what went wrong and just go right back at it. It's one game and on to the next one.